Morning, gang. It's Sunday, the 30th of September, 2018. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from Television Centre here in Bracknell, Royal Berkshire, boys and girls. I'm the way I stream the show to you. The people at the streaming place have changed the message system. Okay, so it's kind of all over the place at the moment. Some messages are coming in there, some are coming in there, and some's on there. And I'm getting very confused. This happened I discovered this on Friday night. Friday morning was perfectly all right. And then I think it was something to do with the Facebook issue that everyone's been having. You may have noticed that you've had to re-log into your... I bet you forgot your password, didn't you? Huh? How many people couldn't forget their Facebook password or couldn't remember their Facebook password because it's so long since you had to tap it in? Exactly. And then you had to tap it in, was it Friday afternoon? Something like that. So it was since that happened, then I noticed Friday night the messaging system was all a bit mucked up. Okay, so bear with me if it doesn't happen, all right? If I don't see your message, bear with me. Now, I'll read to you now what I've got at this moment. A very good morning to N. Good morning, N, who's on Periscope, and I have an answer for you, N. N says, I thought you'd blocked me. I've been looking for you for days. No. I haven't blocked you, N. I tell you what I noticed when... I realised the chat thing was all a little bit mucked out and was onto helplines and everything else like that business. I also noticed that we hadn't been on Periscope for about 30 days. I don't know why. Basically, the way this show works, I sit here and I do it, and it goes to a streaming place called Restream. Restream. And it works very well, almost all the time. It works extremely well. From there, it goes to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and other places as well. Okay? And that's how you watch it. For some reason, the Periscope thing had become disconnected. So it wasn't going to Periscope. And I checked my Periscope app, and sure enough, there'd been no show on there for about 20 days or so. So that's why that's happened. Anyway, I managed to fix that Friday night so you're able to be with us. Certainly not. I haven't blocked you at all, N. Okay? And also can also see Mark on Periscope at the moment. Over on YouTube, I'm getting your messages. John Parrish, good morning, John. Weird City Citizen, a very good morning to you, sir. John says he's got family here visiting us from Vegas. Thought of you as you're going soon. Yes, indeed. Not long. When is it? Let's have a look. Hang on, I'll tell you when. Do you know it's like 2 weeks away? It's like just a bit more than 2 weeks away. I still haven't got my insurance yet. You know, the health insurance. Yeah, I know some of you probably don't bother with it a lot of the time, but especially the States. My God, if you are ill in the States and you've got no insurance, forget about selling the house to pay for any medical bills because it won't be enough. I don't know what it is. They have some very good doctors and what have you in America, as they do everywhere. Whether you're in, I don't know, India or America, very good doctors. The difference is, in America, you will pay for it through your nose. It's all about making profit. I think it's disgusting how the American health thing works. Absolutely disgusting. I don't see why anyone should make money out of people suffering. But if you go to America, oh yeah, they will. You never ever want to go to America without health insurance or whatever it's called. Travel insurance, something like that. I haven't sorted out mine yet. You know, so I must get onto that this morning or at some point, all right? John says, I'm getting confused. You only have 11 of us in total. That's probably 11 on YouTube. 11 on YouTube and some on Periscope and some on Facebook. You don't get the total on there, I'm afraid, John. All right. So N is very happy now, aren't you, N? There you go. Restream.io. That's right. Okay, Restream. Over on Facebook, let's see if they're coming in. Which is the... Oh, hang on a minute. They're all coming over there now, are they? Oh, right. Who sent the first message on YouTube? Let me just sort this out, boys and girls, and I'll start telling me stories in a minute. Loads to tell you. That does seem to be working actually now. Right. Okay. It doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't pick up the first few Facebook messages, and then it goes in. I don't know if you can see it actually. Let me see if I can show you. Number 2. Just about. Yeah. Okay. Let me move that round. You can see that on here, right? Can you see that on here? Okay. So that's I'm just monitoring that. Now your early messages come up here. Now here is the brand new Restream message screen. You see that there? Okay, going up and down. Now I think the top. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. No, the bottom. The bottom is the first. Okay, so the bottom is the first. Now the first message I've got on here is from Matt Joplin. Good morning, Matt, which I'll come to in a minute. But that came several messages from the top because I got the first message from nephew Gary Butler. Good morning, Gary. He's just sent me one of those. He sends me the most strange, funniest videos you could ever imagine. And this particular video, it's like someone possessed who's in like a hospital bed or something like that. And they wheel her out into the street and she looks dead. And all these people come around. Oh, my God. You know, and she's got heavily made up, all white and red, blood hanging down and all that business. Right, it's like that. And all these kids come out. And then suddenly she just shoots up and screams her head off. And all the kids are screaming, I love it. So Gary sent me the first message. Then I've got one from Adam the plumber. And he's on holiday at the moment in... Can't remember. But it's very nice wherever he is. He put up a picture of himself yesterday. Sitting, and I think it was a beach behind him, and they were sitting there having dinner. Oh, it looked ever so nice. So that's it, you see. Then we got one from Roy Brownlow, third in. Good morning, Roy. You are indeed third with your messages this morning. Then Rod Brown, who says, hi, Chris. Then Roy says, is it me, or did Chris used to look like Gary Newman? Oh, card. I didn't like Gary Newman stuff. A little bit too new age for me. Wasn't keen on it. It doesn't mean it wasn't good. It just wasn't for me, you see. So good morning to you. And then Matthew Joplin is there. So Matthew's there. Now, Matthew is the first one here. And then after Matthew, I think they all seem to come up there then. Hang on a minute. Let's see. Matt. Where's Matt? Then Andy. Yeah, then they all come up. So I should be able to close that now and just stick on that there. And then that will work. So we'll get on with these. That's what's happened, you see. So now all the messages should be on one screen, and it looks like they are, except for the fact, for some reason, the early Facebook messages just don't come up on there, and I don't know why that is. Oh, isn't that strange and mysterious, boys and girls? Very strange. I'm getting ready for Halloween now. Will I be here for Halloween? Oh, yeah. Will I be here for Halloween? Yes, I'll be here for Halloween. I'll be here for Halloween. Bring your children. I will entertain them with my evilness. Yes, Halloween, that's it. Matthew, good morning, who says, hi, Chris. Hope you're well. Christmas meal to be arranged. What are your best days? Sunday. Sunday would be my best day, Matthew. But Sunday, best day, followed by either Tuesday or Wednesday or a Thursday, one of those. All right, thank you very much for asking. I appreciate that. Yes. Good morning to Andy. Andy, morning to you, sir. Ray Reynolds is there. Hi to Ray Reynolds this morning. Let's have a look. Ken Lloyd is in Canada. Good morning, Ken. Welcome to this moment of madness that we do most mornings around about 9:30 usually, but it can appear at any time. Have your little notification thing set, okay? Roy says that means no first winner on Facebook. Oh, I can still get those first messages. It just means I've got to look elsewhere for them. I've sussed that out now, right? Robbie Stedman, good morning to you. Happy Sunday to you, Robbie. Happy Sunday to you as well, yes. A bit cold this morning. Oh, it was a bit cold last night. I had to have the heating on. Half an hour. Oh, my God. I could hear the gas hurtling its way through the pipes underneath the United Kingdom into my meter. It was going like that. Whirring around, costing me a small fortune. Mind you, at least I'm connected to the mains gas here. I don't think I've told you. My caravan, where I spend half the week now, that's not connected to gas. It's bottled gas. Great big bottles they are. £55 they are. What if someone nicks one? I got mine chained. They're chained up, dear. Well, have people nicking them, dear. Nicking them. Yes, I've got 2 great big bottles of gas that sit on the side outside the caravan, right? And that works the gas fire. I don't use much gas. Gas fire, cooking. I've got a gas cooker and water heater. And I haven't run out of one yet. I have that excitement to look forward to. And you just know it's going to happen, right? Either in the middle of the night or on a really cold day, or more likely than ever when it's absolutely chucking it down with rain outside. That's when the gas will run out, isn't it? And I've yet to experience that excitement. You know, and then you have to go out. I've had a look. These great big gas bottles, they got like turning things on. It says on, off. And you can't muck it up. Mind you, the millennials will probably get it all wrong. You know, we know what the millennials are like. Oh, is there an instruction book for that? Oh, on? Oh, does that mean turned on? Oh, I'm really offended by that remark. Oh, I'm going to write to Callaghan. I must come on the Victoria Derbyshire show because I am a victim. I have been offended by the word on a gas bottle. I don't want to be turned on or off. Even worse, I don't want to be turned off or on. That is offensive. I'm going to be on Victoria Derbyshire in the morning because I am a victim and I want to talk about myself and I want the spotlight for 5 minutes. With the lips. You know, the lips. The millennial girl lips. Like that. And millennial lad lips, well, they're even worse. The millennial lads are putting makeup on now. What's all that about, boys? Come on, we want to see real men, dear. Real men. Like David Beckham. Nah, maybe not. Oh, he's a bit past it now, isn't he? They were all off in a paper about him the other day, you know, because he's got out of this speeding thing. And, you know, to be fair, I have to say, you know, if the fine wasn't given to him in a proper way, then why should he pay it? Wouldn't you have done the same? I'm not a fan of David Beckham. Never have been. Never have been. All that money for one person, it's outrageous. Oh, look at me in another pair of underpants on a poster somewhere. Pfft. Dear me. 42 and you're still running around in your pants on posters? Please do me a favor. I've never been a fan of him. But, to be fair, you know, if that fine was incorrectly given, then he shouldn't pay it. That's what I reckon anyway. Where are we? Oh, yes, so the gas thing. I was telling you about the gas things. The millennials will be deeply offended by anything at all, actually. Please do, I keep warning you, do not speak to a millennial. You won't have a great time. They will take you to court for something and be offended. That's what they're like. Let me be on the front page of the Daily Mail this week. Oh, that's really inappropriate. Oh, it's really inappropriate. Go on, sling your hook. We don't want to know your love. You know, us oldies can just stick together here, can't we? Yes. So there we are. So you go out there, you turn the gas off, and then with a small spanner, which comes supplied with the caravan. I've got to buy anything. Marvellous. You undo this nut, take the thing off, put it on the other gas bottle, do it up, and turn it on. It's as simple as that. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, when it's very cold and pouring down with rain, you don't want to be doing that. You can buy this like switch that kind of, you mount it on the caravan and turn it from one to the other. So gas bottle 1, gas bottle 2, okay? So if it was pouring down with rain, you just go outside and put an umbrella and then back in again, you know. But they're like 75 quid for one of those things. 75 quid, you know. I mean, I must admit, when I was in Haven Holidays last week, a wonderful holiday last week with my nephew and his family. Oh, we had such a laugh. Did I tell you about the Babe Station story last week? Someone tell me if I told you about the Babe Station story last week? Oh, it's hilarious. I think I might have I don't want to tell it to you again. And they've all got these things on there. And I said to my nephew, I said, here, can't we get one of those off one of the caravans and nick a couple of gas bottles? They're £55, those gas bottles. I've no idea how long they last. No idea. What I do know is that when I turn on and I've had a couple of cold nights in the caravan, but when you go and turn that gas fire on, my God, it's so nice to just be sitting in front of it. You know, it's all very well having central heating, you know, every warm, you go from one room to the, oh, how lovely and warm, how lovely and warm. But you don't get the pleasure of sitting in front of a fire, whether it be a gas fire or a proper fire, you know, all the same, really. So there we are. 1 second, where are we? Oh, I've jumped up a bit there. Have I jumped up a bit? There we are. Good morning to user me, Khalif. Good morning to you, sir. Watching on one of the Learn English groups. Russ Philip Verman's there. Hope you're well. Been very busy. Has been absent from watching. Yes, absent from watching. It has been noticed, Russ. Everyone's got a little light. Did you know that? You can't see it from there, unfortunately. On my wall is little lights of regular listeners and viewers. And your light hasn't been on. I've noted that. That has been noted. Don't worry, Russ. Morning to Paul Adamson in Amsterdam, where the tulips are growing. Gary, what do I win for being first? Not another holiday. Not yet, anyway. Not another holiday. Paul, that will be your vegetarian diet, all that gas. Yeah, isn't it a shame that we can't put our own farts to good use? You know, because I could single-handedly power an entire electricity substation with the gas that comes out of me. You just ask my nephew or any of his family who have been sitting in the car with me on holiday. How awful. Jerry Cashmore is still in hospital, where we're here to try and entertain you for a little while, Jerry, all right, to take your mind off your various ailments, my darling. You keep smiling. Keep smiling through, just like you always do. You know that song, yeah. What was that? Vera Lynn, We'll Meet Again. She's still around, isn't she? Vera Lynn, good luck to her. Roy, you get to turn the knob on the gas bottle. You're like that, Chris. Not really, Roy. Not really. It's a knob on a gas bottle. That's all it is. A knob on a gas bottle. If Cristiano Ronaldo came around, it'd be another thing altogether, mate. Good morning to Hayley. Morning, Hayley, you lovely creature. All right? Jerry says my gas bottle used to run out when I was in the shower. Oh, I never thought of that. Yeah, it could as well. That's when it's going to run out and you'll just get a blast of freezing cold water. But it might wake me up a little bit. Could chuck that over some people that I know who seem to sit there in permanent, comas all over the place. How do you spot a millennial? What to look out for? Well, they're just going around being offended by anything. That's how you spot a millennial. All right? Don't worry about that. Right, I think I can close. I think I can actually close that now and carry on with the show. Good. So we weren't here yesterday. I had a really, really busy day yesterday because, of course, on Saturday mornings, what's happened? Friday, I travel down from the north. I go to work and then I come back here. So I've been up north for several days, and when I come back here, there's stuff to be done. That's why you're not getting a show on Saturday morning at the moment. Like Friday, after I finished the show Friday, my sister came round, which was all very nice. She bought me some of her lovely homemade apple crumble. Oh my God, with cinnamon. I like that word, cinnamon. Do you like that word? Say cinnamon. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cinnamon. Cinnamon. I love apple pie and apple crumble and cinnamon. So I had some of that. And then I put my potatoes in the oven. Now, usually, on a Friday, I try and go to sleep around about 1:30 in the afternoon because I've got a long time ahead of me after that, you see. So I put these potatoes in my Caravan gas oven. And I've got to tell you, the oven in the Caravan is awfully slow. It really is. It just takes twice, sometimes more than twice as long to do anything. Everything is cooked. It just takes a lot longer. In particular, little roast potatoes. Now, I say little roast potatoes, probably slightly different. I do Slimmer's World roast potatoes, which is this, and you can have as many as you like of these, right? If you're on the Slimmer's World, you have your metal tray thing underneath. You give it a spray with fry light. Psst, 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 psst. 1 calorie per spray. That's all it is. Then you put your little potatoes on there. I chop them up into small. I like small ones. Put them on there. Spray again. Psh, 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 in the oven. Quite hot. 220 degrees centigrade. Okay? Now, my Caravan oven is a gas one. Okay? And it goes up to 230, 240, whatever it goes up to. So I put it right round to the hottest setting. In they go. Can I tell you, they take 45 minutes to an hour in the oven. It's so, they do get cooked, but they take so long. Whereas at home, 20, 25 minutes and they're done. I've got an electric oven downstairs. I wonder maybe, I suppose I could buy one of those tabletop ovens. I don't know if that would be better or not. Might be an idea to do something like that. But because they took so long, then I put those in. Okay, put those in. Then we went for a little walk, me and my sister, to the bins, got rid of my rubbish. Had a walk around the Caravan site, because that's quite nice. On the Caravan site there's no bar, no swimming pool, no shop. There's nothing. It's just a caravans on a site. That's all it is, right? And you can walk around it, and everyone's it's very personalised. It's not like going to a haven holiday where everything's in a straight line and it's all very modern. There are old caravans, there are new caravans, but everyone's got like a little bit of a garden, and it's all so well kept. Everyone looks after their little bit. I think probably part of the reason is, and no disrespect to you if you're quite young, is that people are of an age on there. They tend to be sort of 55 plus, older than me actually. A lot of them on there. You know, did I just see a message from our friend in Sydney? Just a minute. Have I skipped over something there, or are they just not all coming up? I'm not. Do you know? I'm not sure. Hang on a minute. I'm sure I saw a message from our friend in Sydney. 1 minute. Alan Bailey. Yes, Alan Bailey's in Sydney. Good morning, Alan. He's just moved from the UK to Sydney. He's got a job in Sydney, and it's his first time there. I hope all things are going well. I must send you a little private message later on, and you can tell me what's going on there. Roy says microwave them first and then cook them. It's not that they're not getting cooked, Roy. What it is they're not going brown. They take a long time to go brown. You can't have white roast potatoes, which I keep telling my sister that, but don't tell her that. I can't have white roast potatoes, all right? But there we are. So we've walked around the site, and I've come back and I thought, well, I'll have my dinner. And they're not done. They're not done. And I didn't have dinner until 1:30, which is when I'm due to go to bed. My sister's still there, so I'm eating my dinner. And then, of course, Ashley said, I thought, well, I wasn't hungry after that. I thought I'd better have her apple crumble, otherwise she'd be upset. So then I had that. I didn't get to bed till like 2:30, which only gives me an hour in bed. And of course, not long enough to nod off, because not only have you just had a great big meal and you've gone to bed, I say a big meal, it wasn't massive, but also in your head, I've only got an hour now. So I couldn't drop off. Couldn't drop off at all, but never mind. Got up about 3:30, went to work. A little bit more traffic than usual on Friday night, I must admit, going from Lincolnshire into London. But I still got to work only 10 minutes later, about 20 to 8. Karaoke on Friday night. I host a karaoke night on Fridays. If you ever want to come down there, it's at Central Station, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Friday night karaoke. Have I got a little poster here to show you? There it is. Look at that. That's Friday night karaoke. Every Friday night, Central Station, 8:30 to midnight. Okay, so I got there a little bit quieter than it usually is, but it was all right. You know, it worked. Hang on, let me just check my... I've got my other messages here as well. There we are. Good morning, Maureen. Morning, Maureen. Maureen's with us today. Good morning, Maureen. Maureen came along Friday. She left early. She worked very well. I hope how's your chest now, Maureen? Do let us know. Let me just adjust myself comfortably. That's better. And Maureen usually stays till the end, but she left. I think it was around about 11:15, 11 o'clock. She said she had a bit of a bad chest. So I hope you're feeling a little bit better, Maureen. Have you had the flu injection, by the way? Very important to have that. I have it every year. Was it last year or the year before? I got really ill straight afterwards. I've been really ill. Oh, my God. I was 2 weeks off work. It was awful. I don't know what went wrong, but I have had it this year. I had it 2 weeks ago. And the nurse did it this time instead of the doctor. She weren't very good at it. Oh, and it did half hurt when she put the blooming needle in. You know, the doctor, usually you go in there, you walk in there. Oh, hello, Mr. Reardon. And I don't look. I don't look at people putting needles in me. How drug addicts do it, I do not know. How drug addicts inject themselves with all these drugs and things, I do not know, because I cannot look at a needle. Anyway, you go into the doctor and he takes it out of the bag. All right, Mr. Reardon, and you turn around and all you can feel is like that, and it's done, right? Not the nurse. Oh no, she's like, right, and she's rubbing it like that, and then she's doing it, and then she pushes it in slowly. No, it hurts. It hurts. So it did hurt me. Anyway, it went in, and I've had no problems whatsoever with the injection there at all. So get your flu injection, Maureen. Have you had it? Have you had your flu injection yet? Let me know, darling. All right, I hope you're feeling a lot better. So a bit quieter, but it was all right. You know, we had a nice night. Came back here, had something to eat, and then I went to bed. But yesterday, I was so busy yesterday, I had to cycle to Crowthorne. Now, Crowthorne isn't that far from here, really. and it's certainly close. At least part of it is close enough to cycle to from here. So I generally cycle all around here all the time. I when I'm up in the caravan, I've got a bike up there as well that I picked up for just 28 quid, second-hand bike. Unfortunately, with no suspension. Okay, so I must say it's really bumpy. You're bummed and half after you've been on that bike. It really does. So I bought that to cycle to and from my sister's. The only thing is, it's much further than I thought it would be. To cycle to my sister's is about an hour and 10 minutes. Although the week before last I did it, and it was an hour and 20 minutes. I kid you not, the entire cycle, the wind was against me. It was blooming hard work. Really hard work. And I got there, and in the end I said, oh, you'll have to give me a lift back. So the bike is now at her house. And I said to her, funny enough, I said to her on the phone yesterday, I said, don't bring the bike over. One day when we do something, drop me back at your house and I'll cycle it back like that. And that kind of works for me. But I cycled into Crowthorne to pick up a parcel. It's one of those DHL parcels. And then if you're not in, you can tell them to re-deliver it. But I never know when I'm going to be in, to be honest. I'm always out doing something. I can't be sitting in here doing it. Once I've finished talking to you, I'll have something to do. For example, it'll be dinner time by the time I finish talking to you today. I've got loads to do today. Look, I've got to water the plants, download some new karaoke tracks from Sunfly, cut the grass, hoover the house, sort out my insurance, do some paperwork. Loads to do. Loads to do. That's the secret. Got to keep busy. I can't be sitting there doing nothing unless there's something good on the telly. And let's be honest, there's not a lot good on the telly. Is there? No, there really isn't. Although I did watch a little bit of that Strictly. Strictly Come Dancing. Because my television, it's like got an alarm on it. So when I wake up, it wakes me up, my telly, at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, ready to go to work. And I watched a bit of that Strictly Come Dancing. And it was a young boy. They're supposed to be celebrities, but he's off YouTube, I think. He's a young boy. I don't know what his name was. Oh, they were really good. They were doing the Charleston. Well, it didn't look like the Charleston to me, but it didn't matter. It looked really good. Really good. And the judges loved it. I gather, I don't know if I pulled the story up here, actually. Let's have a look. No, I don't think I pulled the story up there. No, I didn't pull the story up there. But I gather a lot of people wrote to some of the newspapers and said they didn't think he should have the points that he got. What, is everyone like a dance floor expert now? Why is that? Why is that? Are you jealous because he's young and quite agile with the movements? Is that what it is? Oh, how pathetic are they? I thought he was really good. Him and his partner, I think he's the celebrity, isn't he? And the woman is the professional dancer. I think that's how it works. I'm not quite sure. I never used to watch Strictly, but now and again I see a bit when television comes on. And I thought it was really good. Did you see it? Very, very good indeed. Anyway, so as I say, yesterday I cycled to Crowthorne. I went to the bank first. I found that there's a branch of my bank there. So I went there, put my wages in there. Then across the road, there's a Lidl. Now, I've only been to Lidl a couple of times. We've got an Aldi here just down the road from me, which is where I now do most of my own shopping because it's so cheap in there. If you don't go to Aldi, I love the service in Waitrose. There's nothing wrong with Waitrose. But the price difference between the two is quite substantial. We're not talking 50 pence. You're not talking 50 pence. You're talking, and every time I go into Aldi, I think I must save between 5 and 10 quid. That is substantial. It really is substantial. So I do most of my shopping in Aldi, but I thought I'll have a quick look in Lidl. So I went in there and I wanted some blueberries and some, the packet. I cheat a bit with vegetables. The packets of vegetables, put a hole in the top, shove them in the microwave for 3 minutes. I usually get carrots, broccoli, bit of, what's that white stuff? Cauliflower, maybe some peas, sugar snap peas, corn, little corn things, or anything sort of within that. You get in a little bag. Costs you usually about £1.20, £1.30. One hole in the top, put it in the microwave, 3 minutes, and it's all done. I buy those, right? So I'm in Lidl. What was that? Oh, the calendar's going round. Why did that go round? Oh, it's gone from AM to PM. It is now Sunday afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome to Sunday afternoon. Yes. So I've gone in now. I've got my blueberries. I'm looking for these vegetables. And I thought they must have run out. Now, they had carrots on their own in little packets and corn on their own in little packets, but not like the mixed vegetables that I usually have from the other. You get them everywhere, really. Aldi do them. Aldi do a very big bag, okay, which is the same price. So if you was to buy them in Tesco's, you get like a bag, which is enough for one, to be honest. It's enough for one. Aldi, they're roughly the same price in Aldi, but you get twice as much. I do eat all the vegetables. So if it's a large bag, I'll eat the lot. And you get them in Sainsbury's. Well, they all do them. Not in Lidl. Isn't that weird? I thought that would be quite a basic thing these days, to have these little bags of fresh mixed vegetables that you shove in the microwave for 3 minutes. No. And I went up to the woman. I said, do you take the little bags of little mixed vegetables? Have you run out? She said, no, we don't do them. Really? Yeah, I'm afraid so. I thought that was a really basic thing not to have. Funny, isn't it? Anyway, so I just ended up with the blueberries and I went to pay something else. I can't remember what the other thing was now. Just paid at the till and left there. Then I went along to what I thought was the little Asian shop where my DHL parcel had been delivered. What I've done, I've ordered a couple of wall lights. In my caravan, in the bedroom, whoever was there before me, took the old wall light out. Octopus says Actiops. Is it Actiops? Prefers Aldi to Lidl anyway. Yeah, I think I would do as well, to be honest. And Bellatrixie. I think I would as well, because they didn't have those things in there. I just thought that was really basic to have. Anyway, so I've ordered this light for my bedroom wall, because there's a light missing. There's actually a live connection on the wall. I mean, if you touch it, you die. End of. So it needs a light on it. So I ordered one of those from Amazon last week, and it said it was going to be delivered. So I thought, well, I'm not going to be there. Deliver it to this shop, which I thought was in Crowthorne. It's funny, actually, because my sister on Friday, she'd seen someone selling wall lights and then bought two and bought them around. She said, oh, I bought these for you. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks ever so much. I just ordered one this week. So that's just how it is, isn't it, really? So I went to this shop. Lovely Asian man there and his wife, like a family business. Ever so nice, aren't they, those people who run the little shops? They're always so friendly and nice. And I said, well, I've got a parcel, so I give me my name and address, and she couldn't find it. Then I showed her the thing, and it wasn't on there either. And then she said, what shop have you got? I said, well, Duke's Ride Crowthorne. She said, oh, no, you've got the wrong shop. It's at the other end. Oh, right. Come out of here, turn right near the bike shop. She said, no. Come out of here, turn left and go down that other road. She says, it's down there. Are you driving? I said, no, I'm on a bike. She said, oh, it's a bit of a cycle ride from here. Oh, okay then. So I got back on my bike. And I'd gone down a busy road. Oh, busy road. Is it me or are cars like driving faster and faster now? Why does everyone want to go so fast all the time? There I am on my little bike. Anyway, I went on the pavement in the end. I think it's actually a shared cycle way. But, oh, Christ, some of these cars that come past it ever so fast, and great big lorries and things like that. So I've cycled down and down this road. Honestly, it went on forever. Eventually I got there, but it was a lot further than I thought it was. So I went and showed my thing, showed me a little pass thing on my mobile phone, gave me the parcel, and it just about fitted in one of my bike bags. So I was pleased about that. Cycled back home. And, I realised I'd been out nearly an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4. I thought it was a quick 45-minute job to go there and back. No, it turned out twice as long, unfortunately. So that happened. Then my mate came round and I had a cup of tea with him. I was due to go swimming, but I said, well, come round first. We had a cup of tea and I had the other half of my sister's apple crumble that I'd brought back from the caravan with me, which was absolutely delicious, I must say. And then I was subject to yet another ghastly programme on the television. I don't know if you've seen it. Absolutely ascot. Oh my God. I managed 5 minutes. I managed 5 minutes of this programme. What trashy, awful people. If you haven't seen it, don't bother. It's on the same lines as all these awful programmes on the telly. The Only Way is Essex, Geordie Shore, Made in Chelsea. I think there's another one, isn't there? What's the other one? And Absolutely Ascot. It's like all of those. Just awful, trashy people shouting and screaming and swearing and deciding who's going to go out with who and who's knocking who off. That's it. That is the story. More crap television. What side's it on? It's well. I mean, if I said to you ITV-BE, you'd get it, wouldn't you? All I've got to say to you, if it's on ITV-BE, then it is trash television. Full of, it's like these housewives of Cheshire or Hollywood or New York or anything like that. You know, Loose Women is very close to this sort of thing as well. Just awful television with no real storyline. Just people screaming and shouting and swearing and shagging. And that's it. That's it. So there you are. That's I managed 5 minutes of Absolutely Ascot. And I said, right, you going now? So I'm going swimming now. So I went up the swimming pool, which was almost empty yesterday, which was quite nice. Went swimming pool, came back here, had my lunch. I did loads of washing, 2 lots of washing yesterday. It was all hung out. It was sunny yesterday, so it all hung on the line and all dried out. Lovely, beautiful. Thank you very much. Yes, so all my washing is done. And that's it, really. Did some more paperwork, went to bed, got up for work, went to work at 8 o'clock. The artist, the actor was a little bit late last night, about 20 minutes late, but it was all right. She was very good. Which meant I didn't leave till about 10 past midnight last night. Usually I'm out of there by about 11:30, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me, you know, as long as people got entertained by the artist. This morning, it was cold this morning. Got up, went to church this morning. Vivian wasn't there. Vivian wasn't at church today. Where was Vivian? I reckon she was out last night. I reckon Vivian was out last night getting drunk somewhere. She couldn't get up in the morning. So I went to church this morning. My hands froze. I didn't put my gloves on, did I? It was really cold this morning on the bike. But it's surprising how much different an hour makes, isn't it? So if I got into church about 7:45, the heating was on. It was lovely and warm in there. Came out of there about 10 past 10, and it had heated up, the outside in the space of an hour. So that was really good. So that's my day, and as I say, I've got loads to do today as well, so I've got to get on with that. Let's go to some of your messages then. Good morning to Najib. Good morning, Najib. Welcome to the show, sir. Brendan Brady fan joined us quite late this morning, aren't you? I tell you what, some of you get here so late these days. Angela Waters, there she is. Did you see the food table at my party? Yes, I did, Angela. Very nice indeed. Christina Ewing, she's there as well. So late. It's a good job these shows go on for an hour, because you'd miss them. If I was doing 20 minutes like some of these other Herberts on here, you know, it'd be over by the time you realised there was something happening, wouldn't it? Never mind. Roy, flu injections break down your immunity system. Body gets weaker. Fighting disease. Never had them as kids. We had granny's stew. Oh, I miss my mum's cooking. And my nan's. My nan used to do these wonderful chips. I do miss all that. Good morning, Alan Russell. Morning, Alan. Welcome along. Christina thinks she's coming down with flu. She did over 60 hours last week helping a veterans group as they were working at Fort Cumberland. I'm so tired. I should think you are, Christina. Good news from Maureen. She was just tired. Oh, I thought you was ill. Sorry, Maureen. I'm sure you said you wasn't feeling too well on Friday. As long as you're all right now, my darling. I don't have the flu jab. Oh, okay. One of my other friends was saying, what's his name? George Sharp, who's a big-time DJ. You would have heard music from him. He was saying he's had the flu injection for 15 years, okay, and has never, ever had the flu. How blooming marvellous is that? That's good, isn't it? Over on... Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry. Let's just scroll back there. I noticed the Periscope ones don't come up on there. Now, why is that? Let's see if I can... That's strange. The Periscope messages don't come up there. That's strange, isn't it? I can go back to the Periscope ones. 1 second. N says you're not really Christopher Eccleston. No, I'm not. I'm really not. En's already got the flu. It's bad this year. Yes, there is actually a flu story, which I'll read to you in a minute. Okay? Let's have a look there. En doesn't eat dinner, really? Why don't you have dinner? Good morning, Nick. Morning to Nick. Alfie. En says you should drive on the slow lane on the left side. Well, I do usually. I do. I always drive on the left side of the motorway. En Villa has a spider bite. Oh, you want to watch those? I hope it's not a poisonous one. We can't afford to be losing listeners or viewers. Do watch out. So listen, we're talking about this flu injection in this morning's Daily Mail. It says here in July. Let's just use another camera. Use another camera, shall we? In July, the government admitted that last year's flu vaccine had failed to work for the vast majority of people. Just 15% of the 15 million people who had the flu jab were fully protected against the virus. According to Public Health, it didn't work, making it far less effective than the previous years. The figures were particularly poor in the over 65 age group, among those most at risk of flu, with just 10% protected. So, I mean, we all had the flu injection as usual, but it didn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work too well. The story goes on, it contributed to what became the worst flu outbreak for 7 years. There were 15,000 deaths related to the disease, nearly double the average. Public Health England's medical director admitted the vaccine wasn't as effective as we would have liked against one of the main strains, H3N2, known as the Aussie flu. The Australians are sending stuff over. Alan Bailey, if you're still with us, watch out, dear. It had caused chaos in Australia before it arrived on our shores. But the problems also stemmed from what is effectively an annual scientific gamble. So what they do, when they make these flu vaccines, they're trying to guess what will be the worst flu things that would protect. And sometimes they get it wrong, so it doesn't always work as well. Vaccines are then manufactured 6 months in advance or more. But a characteristic of flu is their ability to mutate, so it can change in that 6 months, and then we haven't got it. It also says here the flu jab failed last year, so why bother this year? Well, it goes on to say in the Daily Mail, a new supercharged vaccine is to be available to all people over 65 for the first time this winter. All vaccines contain an inactive, harmless version of the virus, but once inside the body, the immune system learns what the virus looks like. So it says that this year's one is supercharged. A little bit like myself. I like to think of myself as supercharged most of the time. I really do. Very strange. Let's have a look here. Hello to Hallucitosis. Hallucitosis? There's a huge disco ball down under. There's one here as well, mate. There's one here as well. N says, don't tell people there are other species working against us. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. Angela, my daughter, did that grazing table. She put it on Facebook. It did look very nice. Going to charge $1,000 Australian dollars for a table of food. That's a lot of money, isn't it? $1,000 for a few crisps. Blimey. That's a lot of money. Good morning, Grant. Grant's here this morning. Used to work with him at a place in Clapham, didn't we, Grant, which we hate. Very successful bar, actually. The place I work in at Clapham has won all sorts of awards, and this is very, very busy most of the time. Very successful bar. And I worked there for 18 years, and I hated it. I just hated the place. I just found it very fake in there. I like normal people. Do you know what I mean? When I say normal people who are not above themselves. I can't bear people who pretend to be something that they're not. I'd much rather be in the gutter, with everyone else. That's where I'd rather be. All right? So good morning to you, Grant. Now, where are we now? Yeah, you hated it as well, did you? It's funny, I didn't hate it all the time. There were some times. I remember, actually, I used to work at this place on a Sunday night, and Grant was assistant manager. And always halfway through the night, I've got to tell you, we used to go next door to Kentucky Fried Chicken. We didn't buy chicken. We bought those great big tubs of ice cream. You know the ones that are like an oval shape, and we'd have one. It was a Rolo ice, Rolo, Rolo. You know, Rolos. There was Rolos in there as well. We used to have the whole one each. Oh, they were delicious. I can't get away with that now. I just put loads of weight on, Grant. Talking of weight, I did weigh myself yesterday, 12 stone 9 pounds. 9 pounds over my slimming target weight. It's been creeping up. I'm trying to do something about it right now, boys and girls. I'm going to join a Slimmers World up near the caravan and try and sort it out there. And keep my fingers crossed that I can get it back down. All right? Halitosis says, chicken vindaloo is everywhere. Where? I can't see any chicken vindaloo anyway. Christina says, I'm supercharged. Thank you very much. I like to be supercharged. Now, what do you think about this? It was in the Sunday Express. It says Bali, B-A-L-I, which is a place, those of you that don't know, in Indonesia, could be set to ban bikinis as part of tough new regulations to crack down on the offensive behaviour of Western tourists around holy sites on the Indonesian islands. Now, I've got a couple of thoughts on this. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, right? But bikinis for the ladies and also speedos. Speedos. Why is it that people who wear bikinis are mainly people who shouldn't be wearing bikinis? They're well overweight, enormous people, and they just don't look right. That's for the girls, and it's the same for the blokes. You see fat, middle-aged men about my age who squeeze themselves into a pair of Speedos, and they look awful. Do they really? And that and cycling shorts. There's the other. Cycling shorts. They squeeze into, and then none of them are fit. None of them are fit. You know, you don't get people like Cristiano Ronaldo wearing Speedos or cycling shorts, do you? Which is a great shame, to be honest, because I'd like to see him in a pair of those. It's always fat, middle-aged men who wear these things. And for the girls, great big fat things who think they look good in a bikini. I'm afraid not, ladies. You don't. Why do they wear them? Put something proper on. Cover that body up. And that's another thing. Bikinis. How do they get away with charging enormous sums of money for what is 3 inches of material and a couple of bits of string? How do they get away with that? You're buying them. Please, dress decently. No one wants to see these great big whales, men or women, sitting there on a bit, having another ice cream and another bag of chips. If you want to eat ice cream and chips, that's fine. If you want to be fat, that's fine. No problem. But we don't want to see it. Oh, I don't care. I'll wear what I want. Well, fine. You wear what you want and be aware of people who are laughing at you as they walk past. Awful. That's my thought. If you've got a fit body, I haven't. If you've got a fit body, please put some on. Please put on the smallest. There was one bloke up the public swimming pool the other week in a thong. I mean, for God's sake, in a public, he's got his arse out. As what do they look like? This string up his arse. What do you look like? There could be children going in that pool, and you're walking around in a thong. Actually, he weren't too bad looking, but you don't wear a thong in a public swimming pool or on a beach, come to that. I think it's disgusting, getting out all this breasts hanging out all over the place on beaches, blokes' arses in thongs. Awful, awful. Dress appropriately, please. Anyway, that's a sort of extra to the story. Let me just see if you've got any. Christina, Queen, fat-bottomed girls are perfect summer songs. Halitosis says fat is trendy these days. I bet you're saying that because you are. There's other people. Oh, I smoke because it's trendy. You know, millions of people die from smoking, but it's not caused by the cigarettes. It's a bit like. Oh dear. Halitosis says British people keep peeing in the Amsterdam canals. Is that right? Aren't you awful? Hello to Tony Power joining us on YouTube. Good morning, Tony. N says, why is it that every time ponderous man really ponderous? I don't know what you mean by that. Liarded says, can a caravan be a trainer and not a drivable thing with its own steering wheel? Yes. Yeah, well, that is a caravan. There's two types of caravans. There's static caravans, which you can move around, but not behind a car. They generally are placed somewhere and they're put down until you want to move them and you get someone to move them for you. And there's tow-around caravans as well. I don't think I'd want a tow-around caravan. I wouldn't mind. Sorry, that was N, wasn't it? That was N said that. I wouldn't mind a Winnebago. Is it a Winnebago? Is that how you say it? Oh, I like those. Great big thing. With proper toilet. The only thing is, I couldn't deal with the toilet. I think you know what I mean by that. Someone has to empty the toilet. I don't think I could get on with that. So I had to pay someone to do that. Or maybe they get this big tube and they put it on the side and push a button and it sucks all the stuff out. Oh, no, dear. We can't be doing with toilets. Good morning, Mark. You're a bit late today, dear. Chop, chop, Mark. What time do you call this? 12:20, dear. Oh, have I been talking for 50 minutes? I don't know where the time goes. I really don't. Anyway, to this story then. Bali is cracking down on disrespectful behaviour with proposals to ban bikinis around its sacred sites. Now, I get this. And you know what? I know people come over here and they don't respect our ways and all that, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't go to other countries and respect whatever they have. Most people, I would imagine, would not go to Italy and to Rome and walk around the Vatican in a bloody bikini or a pair of shorts. You just wouldn't do it. So why do you do it in other countries? The popular holiday destination, says the story in this morning's Express, has had enough of skimpily clad Western tourists posing for photos and climbing over holy monuments. It's just so disrespectful. So disrespectful. And I don't care what religion it is, whether it's Buddhist, Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, whatever, you should respect other people's religions. You know, I've never been in a mosque. If I was to go in, I would take my shoes off because that is what is done. That's what's done. When you go into a synagogue, you have to wear the little, or to the, I'll tell you where in particular, in Israel, to the Western Wailing Wall, Western Wall. You know, the wall where everyone goes and prays. If you want to go in there, you have to wear a little kappa. It's a kappa, isn't it? Little white kappa. And they give you them. They give you them to wear. You know, you should put that on. Respect their religion. I don't want to wear one. Well, don't go then. Respect their religion. The story goes on. Locals believe that the quality of tourists has declined as more visitors come to the island. Oh, that's the same as everywhere. Not the quality of tourists, dear. The quality of people has declined. I've only got to walk down to Aldi and go in Aldi and see the customers in there. Or Sainsbury's. They're even worse. Awful people in Sainsbury's. You know, I will do what I want. It's the same with people parking their cars now, isn't it? There's not enough blooming traffic wardens. I park people pulling up in disabled bays, and you got some old dear in her wheelchair. She can't get in the parking space because some great fat thing, there's nothing wrong with them, has got out of the car, parked in the disabled because you couldn't be asked to walk 2 metres from the other parking spot. Rude. No one respects anyone. It's the quality of people, not just the quality of tourists. Authorities are now considering new restrictions on access to certain sacred areas, and I think they have to do that. They do. This could mean tourists will have to be accompanied to visit Hindu temples, according to Bali's deputy governor. He told Australian news site, the quality of tourists is different from before. It's because we are too open with tourists and too many come. Last year, Bali welcomed around 5 million visitors. There have been various incidents of tourists showing disrespect for Bali's religions. Recently, a viral photo emerged of a Danish tourist sitting on the holy Lingi Padmasana shrine at a temple. The throne is supposed to be left vacant for the most important deity in Hinduism, known as the supreme god. To sit on it is highly offensive and considered blasphemy, around which there are strict laws on Bali. Now, I do wonder, actually, is there a sign saying that, you know, please do not sit here, this is a holy shrine? And if that's the case, then it's disgusting that someone would sit there. If there's no sign, I have to say, how would you know you're not supposed to sit there? It might just look like a seat, mightn't it? Might just look like a seat. I don't know if there's a sign on there. Also this year, a Spanish blogger uploaded a video of himself climbing up a temple for which he was forced to apologise. And you wouldn't, I mean, that's pretty obvious. It'd be like climbing up, you know, you wouldn't climb up the side of Westminster Cathedral, would you? In 2016, a woman was photographed in a yoga pose wearing a bikini in front of a temple, which sparked outrage. I mean, it's a bit much, isn't it? The temples need to be preserved, says the story. They are the spirits of Bali's culture and customs. Australian expat resident Rachel said it's not new to Bali to see girls dressed inappropriately. It's been a problem with Europeans now for a while. What is the new is the latest fashion that young people wear. The shorts that show actual bum cheek and the crop tops. And you know what sort of people wear crop tops, don't you? You've seen them, I know, you've seen them out in those shopping centres, haven't you? Hey? Again, great big fat things with flesh just oozing over the... Oh, it's just awful. And they think it looks nice. They actually think it looks nice. It's awful. So that's in Bali. The stricter rules, they've got rules... the stricter rules follow a 2016 clampdown by Cambodian authorities to prevent tourists wearing skimpy clothes. This includes a ban on clothing which exploded knees. Which exploded? That's a misprint, that is. Which exposed, that probably meant, which exposed knees and shoulders. Well, I'll tell you what, you can't get into the Vatican in a pair of shorts. They won't let you in. They got people walking around with suits and dark glasses on. Excuse me, could you go and put a pair of trousers on? It doesn't happen there. Doesn't happen there. Good. Tony says, I agree. Can you imagine that romantic song, 3 coins in a fountain, and you look in the fountain and it's actually full of British wee? How awful. God. Nasty. That's nasty. Hello to Dennis Granger. Welcome to the show. Christina, I offer tea or coffee to the traffic wardens. I live by a posh grammar school. Oh, do you? Oh, really? Whose parents park in the middle of the street to run little Johnny or Susie to school. The school charges per half term £17,000 to £23,000 for the primary school, even more for the secondary. So that's an awful lot of money, isn't it? The school run, isn't it? This is the old school run, isn't it? Trouble is, of course, I mean, we never got the, well, we didn't have a car. We did have a car, but it never came out to take us to school. We either walked or took the bus. And I used to be of the opinion, well, why don't all the kids walk to school or take the bus to school? Well, the fact is, certainly here, some of the schools are far away. There is no bus. So I suppose the parents do have to drop them. But why do they have to park right outside the front bloody door? Can't you just park? You're just 3 minutes down the road and it would stop all this congestion of cars. I noticed it particularly where my great nieces and great nephews go to school. I've gone either with my sister or my niece or my nephew to pick them up from school, and there's cars blocking up the thing, and well, what can you do? There is a little car park, but of course it's not big enough. It's one of those things, isn't it? Oh, well, never mind. Angela, Rugby League final, Sydney Roosters, 21, Melbourne Storms. I don't really do rugby or any sports, Angela. I don't watch sports on the telly at all. I used to play rugby at school. I was fullback. No one could get past me. Those lads couldn't get past me. I used to kiss them. So they were scared to get... wouldn't come near me with the ball. All right. N says, I'm smoking marijuana. You cannot trust me. Oh, yeah. That stinks. I think it's awful, that stuff. It absolutely stinks, marijuana. Oh, it's horrible. How can you smoke that? And you can smell it a mile away, that stuff. Sometimes I'm driving through Hammersmith and I can smell it. There's like 2 cars in front of me. Someone who's obviously got one. And they never seem to get nicked, do they? We'll do one more story then here. Now, this is interesting. I've been seeing stories all week in the newspapers telling us that we're going to have the worst winter ever. Have you seen those stories? Loads of them. All the papers are usually written by one of my friends, Nathan Rayo. If you ever seen Nathan Rayo, written by Nathan, a weather story, like, and it'd be like an apocalyptic type thing, you know, worst winter for 200 years. We will be holed up for 3 months. No one will be able to leave their houses. Usually written by my friend Nathan Rayo, who used to be one of the people that come to one of the places I DJ'd at for years, the Black Cap in Camden. It was a great job. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. Does that mean someone's talking about me itchy nose? I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, they've all been saying we're going to have a really bad winter. Now, in the Daily Mirror this morning, check this out. The UK could see a hotter than normal 3 months until Christmas. So it's completely opposite to all the other stories we've been seeing. As the El Nino effect ramps up temperatures across the country, potentially making 2018 the warmest year on record. Well, I think it will be, especially with that beautiful summer we've had. Oh, it's too hot. Oh, please. What a wonderful summer. I'm hoping, because in the 70s, okay, it was 1 year that was quite hot. But in the 70s, as a child, I remember summers going on for ages. They would go on for weeks and weeks. Right? Absolutely. We're going for maybe not quite as hot as that, but they certainly you go for very long periods without rain and beautiful sunshine. It will go on for weeks, and I'm kind of hoping that this year is a foresight into what's going to happen the next few years. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we kept having these summers now? Eh? I've hardly used any gas. I'm surprised the gas people haven't wanted to come round and change the meter here. I've just not had. I've had the heating on a couple of times now, but my meter literally didn't move for 3 months. From sort of June, July, August, I didn't use any gas at all. Wonderful, dear, marvellous. Following a frosty start to the week, the story says in this morning's Daily Mirror, the mercury will jump well above the 14 degrees centigrade average in some parts of the country on Tuesday and could hit 21 later this week. Wonderful. Summer's back again. Well, we had a taste of that, was it Thursday? Wasn't it beautiful on Thursday? What a beautiful day we had Thursday. Wonderful. It says there's further warm spells forecast in October and November. The Met Office forecast models show a 60 to 80% chance of a warmer than average 3 months, right until the end of December. I remember once, didn't we have a warm Christmas once? We did, didn't we? We had a warm Christmas. If September to December is 1.5 degrees above average, it could make 2018, this year, the hottest year on record. That would give 2018 a 9.8 centigrade annual temperature. Oh, that's cold. I hope it's not 9.8 for the rest of the years. That's the average, I suppose, isn't it? It says the unseasonal surge will be driven by an incoming El Nino, a warming of the Pacific, which boosts temperatures in October and November around Western Europe. So that'd be very interesting. Who's got it right? You know, because half the stories, we've got half the stories telling us that it's going to be the coldest one on record. And then we got that one come out that says it's going to be warmer than average. You can't win, can you? You absolutely can't win at all, I tell you. Good morning to Lowland Prophets joining us quite late into the show on YouTube. Good morning to you, sir. We're nearly finished now. Christina says the school has a bus, but the parents won't pay £1. Is that all it is to get on the school bus, £1? No, but they don't think of getting their great big blooming Chelsea tractors out, do they? Probably cost them about £5 every time that comes out of the garage. Dear me, school should provide a drop-off and pick-up area. Yeah, I go along with that. Good morning to Mamidi. Morning to you on one of the Learn English sites. Roy Brownlow is watching his CCTV cameras and listening to me whittering on at the same time. Have you got CCTV in your cameras round your house, have you? Well, what have you got worth nicking? You must have something worth nicking there, have you? All right. Right, gang, let's do today's... I'm going to do today's stories and yesterday's stories as well. First of all, Peter Watts. Good morning, Peter. I actually know 2 Peter Wattses. This one I worked with when I was at Directory Inquiries in Wimbledon. Wimbledon Directory Inquiry, Wimbledon DQ Bureau. And Peter used to work there as well. We didn't used to talk much. We just kind of knew each other. And he was a friendly enough chap. And it was one of the most boring jobs I've ever done. It was British Telecom. We were very well paid. We had good holidays. We were looked after. We had good meals. It was, I don't know what it's like to work for them now, but it was a very, very good company to work with, but it was a bloody boring job. These were the days you could dial 142 and I could give you 5 numbers for nothing. Wouldn't cost you anything, because at that time, BT decided, that we would give out the phone numbers and they'd make the money when you made the call. You see? Now, I hear it's like £8-9 to get a bloody phone number. Are you for real? Who uses these directory inquiry things now anyway? Don't you just look up the number on the internet? You must be mad to dial one of those directory inquiry services now and pay a minimum of about £5 for a phone number. It's outrageous. Outrageous what they charge you to look up a phone number. Don't do it. Ring up on the internet. Well, in those days I was there in the 80s, it was all free. You just dial 192. Oh, good. London Directory. Oh, hello. Could I have the number of Arding and Hobbs in Clapham, please? Yes, the number is 020, 8163, whatever the number was. That's what me and Peter used to do. Along with, I think there were about 80 or 90 of us in that room, all looking up phone numbers. Oh, it was so boring. It was so boring, but well looked after, and then I became a telephone engineer a little bit further down the line. So good morning, happy birthday to Peter, 62 years old today, just a bit older than me. Remember those days? When I used to get hot in that switch room. Oh, God, it got hot. And now and again, they'd open all the windows and we get a lovely blast of cold air. And it's like, oh, can you close the windows? We're really cold. Oh, dear. Supervisors running around all over the place. I became great friends, actually, with the chief supervisor. I can't remember her name now for the life of me. But she was in charge of the whole thing, and I got very friendly with her. Funny, actually, if you ever got called into the office, you used to be terrible. What have I done? I've done something wrong. So once I got the minute, chief supervisor would like to see you. Oh, okay. So I got up, I've gone in there, and I'm all worried and nervous. Oh, hello, Chris. And I was like a youngish person at that time. I think I was 21, 18, 19, 20, 21 I did this job. And I got in there and she knew I mucked around with wires and things and all that business. She said, Chris, I'm sorry to trouble you. She said, I've got this radio and it's stopped working. Could you have a look at it for me? I thought I was going to be told off. She was great, the chief supervisor. Can't remember her name though. And I had a very close friend in there, Jean Hyland, who died... She died some years ago and I went to her funeral. She was a wonderful lady, she was. Jean Hyland, we used to sit next to each other and create trouble. We go over to Ely's at lunchtime. Just for a look around. It was a department store after we'd had lunch. Because we had food. Food was all cooked on site. We had meals. What's the word? Subsidised meals we had there. Oh, lovely meals. Oh, my God. You could have like a full dinner and a pudding, something like £1 for all that. Wonderful subsidised meals and a wonderful canteen. British Telecom really looked after their staff at that time. Don't know what it's like now. But lovely meals we used to have in there. And one thing Jean said to me was, and she was very good with her money, as indeed I am. She said, "Do you know what? All my life I've saved. I've never spent it. Kept saving and saving. Now I'm of an age. I can't spend it all." She said, "So my advice to you is, save a bit and spend a bit." And that's what she advised me. I've always remembered that. Happy birthday, Peter Watts, 62 today. Stephen Lusher, DJ. I hope you're still DJing. Stephen Lusher is a young 51 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Stephen. Hope you're still down there in Brighton, if I remember rightly, aren't you, Stephen? Happy birthday. Yesterday's birthdays, because we weren't here yesterday. Kerry Stubbs' birthday on Saturday this week. Happy birthday. Benjamin Austin, 30 years old yesterday. Bart. Hello, Bart. 41 years old yesterday. One of our old Black Cap customers. Hope you're doing well, Bart. Happy birthday to you for yesterday. Athena Charm, 33 years old on Saturday. Richard William Bolam, happy birthday. Jenna Blaney. I hope I've said that right. Blaney or Blaney, I think it is. Jenna. Happy birthday, Jenna. Hang on, are you the Jenna from Australia that I worked with in Bluches? Yes, you are, aren't you? Jenna! Are you married yet? Let me have a look. Oh, are they your two children? Oh, wow. I'm just looking at Jenna's Facebook page. Yeah, Jenna I worked with at Bluches in Hammersmith, wasn't it? Oh, we had a laugh there. Now she's got a family. It's wonderful to see all these... I love it, actually, when I see all these young people that I worked with years ago. Usually not that far back. I think probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And then they have their own families and everyone moves on. It's fantastic. It really is. Happy birthday, Jenna. I hope things are going well for you. And Marco Bolli, B-O-L-L-I, Bolli, have I got that right? Is 45 years old. Did I think Marco does radio? Yes, he does radio and discos and all that sort of thing. So happy birthday to you as well, Marco. Shall I sing for you? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy your birthdays, boys and girls. One final lot of messages. Roy says, I've got photos of you burglars would like. I'm sure you have. Photos all over the place. Right, that's it for the show then on this Sunday. Thanks ever so much for joining us. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, around about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, okay? So if you're not doing anything and you want to have a little bit of a chat, join us tomorrow morning for another United Kingdom Talk, Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Enjoy your Sunday. I shall get on with my bits and pieces to do. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.